Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, we're going to do the Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway. We're giving away this here off-grid Rhino V2 in Coyote and Gray. We're going to take a look at Mr. and Mrs. Lurch, both making design collaborations with CRKT, both made in America. That's pretty cool. And then we're going to take a look at a topic that I need to take a look at, which is EDC Audit. I just carry too much crap in my bag. I was actually going to take a look in the bag tonight, and it's too big and too packed. It's going to take a different kind of a setup. But I do have some bits of EDC. I just carry too much crap. I need to do an audit. I need to do a pare down. I do that a couple times a year. And so I'm going to take a look at that and find out what's going on with all you guys with your EDC. So what's going on in general? That is a question. I don't know if you guys have seen, but Spyderco has done their drop number 12, and that's the one I've been looking forward to. Hey, Dave, how's it going? Bobby Bowie, I like it. And the Knife Gang, he says, well, Dave, good to have you here, sir. Interesting thing happened, and I'll clue you into that one shortly. Ket McNessart, good to have you here, sir. Good evening, Bob. Jim Junkies, happy Thursday Night Knives. Happy Thursday Night Knives to you. I was just talking about the Spyderco 12 drop and the new Military 2 after so many years is coming out. It's going to have the compression lock. It's going to have the ability to swap the clip around 4 positions. S30V, which is kind of interesting. They didn't upgrade the steel. Robert, good to have you here, sir. Good evening, everyone, he says. Well, good evening to you, sir. Dion Page, a pleasure, as always. Hello, Knife Junkie, Jim, and all you steel fiends. EDC equals prepared. It does. Sometimes I feel over-prepared, but is that a thing? Byron, good to see you, sir. Byron Kennedy. Howdy, Bob, Jim Junkies. Hope you look forward to Thursday Night Knives like me. So do I. I look forward to it every week. And it's always like, wow, Thursday again, man. It happens quickly. Blade Ogre, good to have you here, sir. Can't wait to check out what you're carrying tonight. We Grow Fire, good to have you. We Grow. I have not met you yet. Good to have you here. Howdy, all, he says. Never Enough Knives 007. I agree. Good to have you here. Another person in the running for tonight's Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway. Drive Strength. Good to have you here. Good evening, Bob and Jim. Got the cold steel con you sent. Thanks again. My pleasure, sir. Use it in good health. Will be another in the running. Good to have you here, Will, as always. He says, what's up? I say, what's up? Chad, good to have you here, Chad. What's up, everyone? He says, just as I was getting everything ready, Weston Probst, always a pleasure, Weston. For some reason, I was moved to pull this one out. I have not had this one out in a long time. I got a poor man's bead on it. Yes, that's right. It's what is it? A hex nut and a couple of knots. But Razorback, good to have you here, Razorback. Finally caught you. Howdy, all, he says. Well, howdy right back at you. It's funny you should have that, Razorback, because that logo or moniker, because I have my Wild Pig Hunter out tonight, and I'm gonna put it under the I should remove this happy little fellow. Jay McConnell, good to have you here, Jay. Evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. I pulled out this one. This was another one I was compelled to bring out. I have gotten rid of a few Tops knives in the past. It would have been nice to have kept them, but the Tops knives I do have, I'm so psyched about. And I had my my Prather War Bowie with me on the road, and that was cool to have. Kay Mason, good to see you here, sir. Hey, Bob, Jim, and Blade Fanatics. Hey, Kay. Caleb Townsend, howdy, he says. Well, howdy to you, sir. Caleb is another one who is not unfamiliar with the hog hunt, right? Isn't that right, Caleb? And when I say another one, I am not referring to myself. I'm assuming Razorback is. I have never hunted hogs or wild boar, but I've always fantasized openly to my wife that someday I want to bag one with a spear, and I have to be in a toga like Odysseus. And if if that happens, that'd be cool. If it doesn't, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's put it that way. Brandon Sutton, good to see you here, sir. Hello, Bob and Jim, he says, and he's giving me the chakabra. Hero Sticks, always a pleasure, Hero. What's up, all? Best live of the week. So glad to be here. Oh, shucks. Thank you, Hero. I appreciate it as always. Hero Sticks has such an awesome collection, and he's been so generous loaning me boxes of 10 at a time over the past couple of years, exposing me to a lot of knives I've never checked out. So that's always appreciated, Hero. Jeremiah Shine, good to have you here, Jeremiah. Late for the party. Not really. My wife is half Bolivian, so you're on time, like more than 1 minute knife review. Good to have you here. Hello, everybody. He says, what is that? Is that a ProTech in your hand? I'm trying to see. I think it might be a ProTech, but it's good to have you here nonetheless. Funny thing. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. Razorback said, I want one of them. Got a couple of pigs the other day using a trusty K-bar. Getting one with a spear is on my list before the year's out. Oh, cool, Razorback. I'm going to live vicariously through you. That's really cool. And you used a K-bar. This is I think something's happening. Lots of coincidence, and some people say there are no coincidences, but I haven't had the K-bar out in a long time, and I felt compelled to bring out the K-bar. I love this one. This was a reissue. My brother gave this to me in 1991. This was a reissue of the one that was made for World War II with the fully sharpened swedge up to about here. Just a wicked knife, not very good, like even grinds or anything like that, but it's got this fine layer of rust on it, almost red rust, but it's always been like that. And love this thing. It's a wicked knife. Ed Harrison, good to have you here, Ed. What's up, brother Bob and Jim, all in the chat? Well, I'm doing great, man. How you doing? I'm stuttering. We had this awesome noodle dish that my wife came up with tonight, and I ate so much that I had to pig out on chocolate and really pound coffee, and that's what I'm doing right now because man, noodles, it's in my blood. They do put me to sleep. Hero Stick says toga wearing, spear toting, hog stabbing, and cooking weekend. Someone should organize that. I'm all in. That would be really cool. The cooking part, of course, on a spit, and returning it and smoking cigars or what have you. Malibu, yes, thank you. That's exactly the word I was looking for, but couldn't think of it. Brandon, thank you. Speaking of Tops knives, I am stoked for the diver. Ooh, I don't know. I have not looked at any SHOT Show videos yet. I don't know if the diver is one that was announced earlier. I know they're just bringing out the new Ed Calderon knife, and it's not a Pikal style knife, though it does allow for that with a little finger notch on what is the spine of the blade. Brandon says, speaking of top, okay, so I got to salute you with the tops, but since you've already seen the wild pig, I'll use this right here, the Prather War Bowie. I love this thing. Thank you, Brandon. I really appreciate that super chat. It's greatly appreciated. And as is your conversation and your presence. The Prather War Bowie, awesome. I actually recommend if anyone's interested in this, first of all, I feel like I've seen them for sale places. I don't know if they're in production right now, but I feel like I've seen them on eBay or maybe on Blade forums recently, like more than one, and I guess that raised an eyebrow. But anyway, if you have this knife, if you like it, if you think it's cool, there is a really great video that just came out on YouTube on the Tops channel of its creator, Jeff Prather, showing all the cool different ways he uses and carries this knife. And he does some pretty interesting and imaginative things with a lanyard when switching from this sort of saber grip to a reverse grip. And it's pretty cool to watch him do it. I would seek it out if you're interested in Bowie knives, Bowie knife fighting, or the Prather War Bowie, or Tops knives. So lots of reasons to seek out that video. Brandon Sutton, thank you so much for that super chat, sir. If you don't have one, I highly recommend it if you have the means. What movie is that from? Okay, putting this away. I'm sure a lot of you are going to jump right on it. You can't look it up. You just can't look it up. I'll know. I will know. I can just tell. Nick EDC, good to see you. Hey, Bob, Jim and Junkies, he says. Peace out, he says. Peace to you, sir. Happy Haptics EDC. What's up, Bobby and Knife homies? The pig sticker is definitely a good look on you. Yeah. I do love that knife. I do. But I could see why someone would want a spear to keep that thing at distance. Drive Strength says, got a K-Bar zombie chopper directly from them for $50. It's an absolute monster of a blade. Is that the one? Well, first of all, I think I know the shape of the handle. It's got like it's got like a single partition, two areas where your fingers rest, like two wells, with the zombie green. And then it's got like a long parang style blade, if I'm not mistaken. That whole series was really cool. And then they have one called the Pig Skinner, I think, in that same sort of series that I always love too. Really cool, curved clip point blade. Weston says the wear on that K-bar is awesome. Oh yeah, you want to see some cool wear on a K-bar? This is the one my brother got me for my 50th birthday. This is this was from World War II or Korea. I just can't tell, but I love it because whoever had it carved a little feather in there, and this thing got used. It's a Camillus, U.S. Navy, sharpened on the spine. I mean, on the swedge, and man, just a beautiful, beautiful old piece. And lots of history in this knife. That's what I love about the knives on the wall behind me. Most of them, 95% of them, have a history like this, like a real lived history. And I love that. Weston says, oh, yeah. Yeah. So cool stuff. Thank you, Vic. My brother always gets me cool stuff, man. Always. I'm so lucky for not just for the knives. He's a great, great brother. All right. Putting this back where it goes. All right. Ground Fog, good to have you here, Ground Fog. He is applauding, and I applaud you, sir. John Smith, pleasure to have you here, John Smith. Hey, everyone. I can't stay long tonight. I just wanted to say hi. John, let me know what you're carrying before you dip. I do appreciate you coming by and saying hi. That's very nice. Nick EDC says, I ordered the Spartan Harzy folder. I'm always like, shit hits the fan. Spartan Harzy folder 3.25 inch today. Kept thinking Bob will be proud. Hey, Nick, I love it. I love it. I just so happen to have this out tonight, my Spartan Harzy folder 4-inch. And, obviously, you know that I love this thing. This is like Sebenza meets VSEP meets awesome. Razorback says, I'll stop holding you up, but one of my young daughters is sitting here listening with me, trying to figure out what a live stream is. Can you give a G-Day to Quinn? Oh my gosh, Quinn, thank you for listening. It is greatly appreciated. And, this is a live stream. People who have the same interest sitting around blabbing. See, Quinn, what I'm doing right now is so that my daughters don't have to hear me talking about knives. So this is, your dad's getting away so he can listen to someone talk about knives and probably talk at the screen when I say the wrong thing, or type in the comments. So Quinn, pleasure having you here, and pleasure to have you on this live stream. Have a fine evening. Ed Harrison, Bob, what was the fixed blade you had on your short yesterday? Which one was yesterday? I believe it was this. Was it this? I'm sorry. I forgot which one I released yesterday. I shoot a bunch of them and then I put them up. Was it this one? This is the Off-Grid Knives Grizzly, an awesome camp and kitchen knife, or camp cooking knife, if you will. Byron says, for your information, Spartans. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh geez. All right. I got to stop. Okay. Stop. I am very excited about what Spartan is releasing. If you didn't just gauge that from the meltdown, they have this this dagger that's coming out. I think it's called the V44, but it's a tip of the hat to the Fairbairn Sykes, designed by Les George. It's coming out and it's only like $175. And yeah, that's not chump change, but for a Spartan knife, that is low. And that is exciting to me. So this is also exciting to me. The Marsoc Fighter USMC K-bar. That will be awesome. I'm very excited. And you know that this pine bar, or the pine, what do they call it? Pineland cutlery is Spartan blades with the production of K-bar. So it's a team up. So it makes total sense for them to do this, and is very exciting. Thank you, Byron. And if you get one, you have to share. Just by showing me. I'm fondling my Svord Golok. Oh my gosh. First of all, what does PMSL mean? I don't know, but I'm saying, oh my gosh, because I've been trained not to say, oh my God, A, and B, because I felt compelled to pull out my Svord tonight. Another one I haven't had out in a long time. This is interesting. There's some coincidence in the air. But this is the Svord von Temsky, and I know that the Golok you're talking about is built on the same handle, right? But basically has the same form factor, different blade. Cool. This thing is very sharp, a very convex ground, and just the weight of it will do a lot of work. And it seems like the guy Von Temsky, for whom this thing was made, and this is the guy who outfitted his whole group of Rangers in New Zealand with these. He seemed like an unsavory character, which kind of makes the knife all the cooler. Will B says, I got a Tops Dart the other day. Loving it. Wonder if I could EDC a 7-inch fixed blade. Yeah, some people do. Some people do. Those are the kind who don't give much of a darn. Quinn might still be here. Those are for people who don't care, who really don't care what people think. And I would love to say and be truthful that I don't care what people think, but I do. I don't want to be walking around and stick out like a sore thumb. I would rather go unnoticed, and not stick out as the guy with the 7-inch knife. But if I could somehow have it on me, and that'd be cool. 7-inch knife would be cool to have on you all the time. Professor EDC says, Bob, Jim, everyone. First of all, Professor EDC, great to have you. You're having a good one with the best Thursday show in town. Well, thank you very much, man. Thank you. I mean, it's great to have you here always. You class up the joint for sure. Weston says, sweet. I see some pretty worn K-bars at gun shows. If those things could talk. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. They'd say, don't put me in another wooden crate. There I go. Brandon Sutton says, pretty sure that K-bar was made in about 43. Oh, thank you, Brandon. I appreciate that. Now, if you could, why? What about it? And should I put it back under the camera for you to examine? I would be interested, because I remember when my brother gave it to me, I did a little bit of research, and I think I ran into a dead end and then kind of dropped it. So I would be interested if you have more information, and if you need it under the camera, let me know. Blame Dexter. Good to have you here, sir. Hello, he says. Carrying the good old Hinderer half track today. Warncliffe Magna Cut. Half track. Okay, that's a cool one. I was about to say the coincidences just don't stop. My Hinderer Warncliffe is not mine's an XM18. Oh boy. Okay, I think it's time. So Blade Ogre, you're gonna inaugurate this. Let's see, carrying the Yojumbo, the White River Backpacker Pro. That's a cool one. The GEC 29 Stockyard Whittler. I believe that's a molasses bone. Every time I get it, grits. Is that the one with grits? Rosecraft Applejack, LT Wright Frontier First, Tops Bull Trout, ZT0640, Bradford Pairing, the LT Wright Maverick Colt. I don't know what that one is, but I like that. That sounds awesome. Chris always has a very, very comprehensive carry. And yes, he carries all these on his person. Whereas I might throw a whole bunch in my bag. He's just he has them on him. And never did anyone say, Chris, can I have a knife? And never did he say, no, I don't have one. Drive Strength says, feel like I'm looking in a mirror, Bob, wearing the same LL Bean flannel while surrounded by knives. That's funny. That's funny, man. This is like my favorite shirt. I love this shirt. And it's funny. I guess other people have noticed because we went somewhere and met up with some friends, and I just threw this on. This was a couple months ago, and I remember our friend, who's kind of a new friend, was like, "Oh, your favorite shirt?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, apparently it is." Honey Bear 85, good to have you here, Honey Bear. Had the TRM Neutron 2, the Boker Solingen, Swell and Jack. Boker Solingen, Swell and Jack. Is that sort of like this shaped? A bullet end, and a Rhino Custom Cricket fixed blade on me. Ooh, that sounds nice. All right, well, I think then for me, it's time to do a pocket check. So I'm going to do a pocket check. Put this away. This, I came dangerously close to selling recently. I was like, I'm not carrying that. Why, and I was so, why was I so? And I was like, well, let's remind me, why was I so? And I put it in my pocket, and I love this thing. It does have one little flaw, and that is the pocket clip is so darn tight, but I can take care of that. I can take care of that. I can bend that or do something. Anyway, carried this one today. It is one of those sort of obtusely ground microtext that is still wickedly, wickedly sharp. I did not use this for anything today, except for, just feeling good about my knife game. What can I say? This is a great one. I do have a whole drawer full of knives that I'm contemplating moving along. And then every time I do, their sweetness gets in the way. I should just not be able to pick them up. I should make a decision and then not be able to pick them up. Have someone else put them in the box, and then I just send them out. Because once they're gone, I rarely regret. Well, that's not true. You hear me say I regret selling knives all the time, but that's only in that moment when I'm saying it. In general, I'm never reaching for that that Rexford ZT I sold, years ago. I'm just not. Anyway, I don't know how I got on that. I do love this knife, and I'm not getting rid of you. Don't worry. Right there next to the SOCOM Elite. I do want to get another SOCOM Elite. I got to say, just because I love the aluminum body. Even with the tip down only configuration, I still love that knife. And it is just tough as nails. And a lot of people have proven that. I have not with my own, though my SOCOM Elite has done a lot of road trip duty proudly and has done a lot of stuff for me. But I've seen people take those things and hammer them into 2x4s, and they can really take a lot. Okay, take a licking and keep on ticking. That's what they used to say. Timex. All right, next. Low Drag Jack by Jack Wolf Knives. This one is a bullet end jack, and it has that really extreme sweep to the edge, which I love, and a big bulbous belly, which is also nice. And it also puts that tip down low. Jared Neve is always talking about tip placement in terms of the type of very common utility cuts we do, this kind of pull cut. Well, on this knife, it puts that tip down lower, that downward arc, and the big belly. I really like this knife. This is I put one up of this cutting some food. I think that goes up tomorrow. We were on a little weekend getaway, and we made some Detroit style pizza. So good. You get a special kind of pan. It's really not that special, but you just get a pan and a little holder because it gets hot as hell. And you rub butter on the inside. You heat it up, put butter on the inside. You put your dough in. There's a certain way you put the cheese and the tomatoes on. My wife is really good at it. I'm not very disciplined with the tomatoes. I always put too much. So she does the Detroit pizzas in the house. Anyway, they get nice and crispy on the bottom, and I was using that to cut, and they get fluffy and big, and great food knife. This was my cutting knife all weekend. This cut steak, this cut pizza, has cut eggs. Not like it. Not like you need to cut it with an S90V blade, but that high full height hollow grind is so awesome. And I'm so grateful to Ben for sending these knives to this channel, and well, to me and to the Knife Junkie, and I can share it with you. But honest to goodness, like, these things are so awesome, and this is a real privilege to get these. So I'm very grateful. And luckily, the people who send me free stuff, which there aren't as many people as you might think sending me free stuff, it's stuff I love. If it wasn't, I couldn't wax poetic. Okay. Speaking of waxing poetic, on my hip today was the Hogtooth Tonto, and by this time next week, I will have the prototype in hand to show you. He just dropped it in the mail today. Matt Chase did. So it will be this with this extraordinary Bowie blade that I designed. But basically, it is this platform. This is one of my two favorite EDC carry knives. Actually, this is one of three of my favorite EDC fixed blade knives. And the other one is also by Hogtooth. And there's a third one, and that one is by Eric Kramer Custom Knives. They all carry wonderfully, but this one by far carries the best. And you get a full 4-finger grip on this, or I do, and Matt does. Matt Chase, the guy who makes these, and he's a much bigger dude than I am, or his hands are anyway. He's big, burly dude, and this fits in his hand well. And then you get a full 3.5 inches there of hollow ground, 154 cm. I love this thing, and it's reasonable compared to his custom work, and I love showing this off. I was just showing this off on the midweek supplemental, but this is his custom work, and obviously this takes a lot more time and effort and energy and such. So this costs way more, and this is something that he can produce easily. But man, is it amazing! I mean, he takes the skill that goes into making something like this and puts it into something simple like this, and it makes this simple tool perfect. And this is, I tell the feather sticking story. I brought a whole bunch of purported awesome outdoor knives and outdoor folders outside to do some feather sticking for a fire I was going to do in the family fire pit with that kiln dried wood that's murderously hard. And long story short, this is the only one that ended up working well. And I had this on my belt with no intention to use it like that. And it did great. Love that knife. All right. Last up, my emotional support knife today was the Baby Rhino by Off Grid Knives. I adore this knife. And this is a tiny knife. Let's see. What is it? 2.5 inches, about 2.5 inch blade. Wait. Yeah, 2.5 inch blade with a full width handle. So it is small. It's a 3-finger knife, but the full width of it, and then the design, the profile of it, of the handle and the blade, it just fits in hand so well. But it's really fun to just flip. This house has 3. Kerry just sent this one to me. He knows how much I love this knife. We have one that's all black. We have one that's mine. My wife has one that she just loves, man. It's all gray. It's got the gray G10 in this blade. And then he sent this one. And the other knife he sent in that package we're giving away tonight, and that's the large version of this knife. So we'll get to that. This is my pocket check for tonight. You got to let me know. Let's continue the conversation. I interrupted you while you were telling me what you were carrying. So let's continue. I want to hear what you guys have. Anyone carrying a fixed blade today? Just around in that, just for pure utility or for self-defense or for any reason? Anyone out there carrying a fixed blade and living a lifestyle in civilization, so to speak? I know that if I were living in the bush or out, in the woods or in a cabin or, in any sort of rural lifestyle, if I lived on a farm, I'd have a Bowie knife on me all the time. Maybe not a big giant one, I wouldn't have something like this on me, even though it would be handy. This would be nearby, I'm sure. But you beauty, thanks, mate. Big smiles. Cool. Thank you. Well, that's awesome, man. My pleasure. Love Sford knives. Have a Sford 7-inch Santoku kitchen knife. One of my go-tos. That is amazing because Sford, my only exposure is the peasant knife, their friction folder, and then this Goliath Bowie. So the thought of them making a nice thin slicey kitchen knife is funny. I like that. Or not funny, but surprising. Jeremiah says, yay, Sford. The Golok is the same steel in VTL6. His heat treat is rock solid. It's a total, I mean, this big Bowie is a total banger, and they make an Arkansas toothpick, which might be cool to check out. I've been kind of, ever since my brother's Arkansas toothpick that I got him for Christmas that I had here for a little while, I've been kind of like, wow, Arkansas toothpick, where you been my whole life? I've known about the Bowie, and I love that bit of Americana, and Arkansas toothpick. It's like a little broadsword, and it's all American. Probably, a lot of imported from Europe there. But K Mason says, Bob, how do you like the Bark River MacV SOG? It's a double peaked Bowie, dude. I love it. I would love to have that. The first one they did was a collaboration with Vehement Knives. His name is escaping me. Great guy. But Vehement Knives teamed up with Mike Stewart, and they did that run, and then I think they did subsequent runs that he was not attached with. But such a cool knife. The one thing that I find interesting, or maybe not interesting, but sort of counter, is I have the SOG Super Bowie. It's just the 7-inch instead of the 6-inch version of the classic SOG Bowie, double peak Bowie, and it has a deep hollow grind, and I love that. And it looks good. So I'm wondering if I wouldn't like that a little bit more. But anyway, yes, love it. Thank you. Dave says, size matters. I think I'll EDC my traditional Filipino weapons Braveheart sword tomorrow. All 5 feet of it. Dude, when did you get that? Is that one you've always had, or traditional Filipino weapons? They make just some of the coolest stuff. This is my most recent purchase from them, the Talibang, one of my favorite Filipino swords. The Philippines have so many. It's a blade heavy culture, and so many islands, and so many little. What am I trying to say? So many different blades and so many different areas, and I love the Filipino blades. But they also do traditional Filipino martial art, or traditional Filipino weapons also does some other cultural blades that are awesome. Like I have the Gladius next to the bed, because every Italian household should have a Gladius next to the bed. Jeremiah says, I've got a Chip Thwiddle, Puko, and Golok. I dream of a 3-way Kydex. Oh, wait. Okay. So Chip Thwiddle, I'm unfamiliar with Puko and a Golok, and you love them all in one big. So how would you carry that, Jeremiah? Would you carry that like across your shoulder with a strap? That seems like an awful lot to have on your belt. Even like the more I have, the big knives out and about, even this on my belt, I don't want this on my belt. This would be almost better with a baldric. Is that what they call it? A baldric, like around I don't know, and just kind of have it here. If you're just walking around on your back 40, So I'm curious how you would take all the weight from those 3 knives in Kydex, how you would wear it. Do drop a comment. Oh my God, Dave has run away. Oh my God, his stuff. Okay, today rocking the new Conescraft custom ring dagger, which is, I think you may have posted that today. I had a very busy day, but was able to steal a couple of glances, at Instagram. I need to look at a knife. I need to look at a knife. Something's uploading. I'm looking at a knife. CMB Falcon Blade. Oh, that's a cool one. And the Maxace Corvus 3 in M390 with zirconium inlays. That CMB Falcon Talon blade is pretty cool. Not sure about the ring, but even if you don't use it at all, still makes a great pommel, right? I think rings, if you're not going to stick your pinky or your finger through them, still make like I said, a great pommel. Drive Strength says, today's EDC, the new Knife Center exclusive Boker Quaken in S35 VN. Boker Quaken is one of my favorite knives to lampoon, just like the Civivi Elementum. Except for some reason, I think it's better with the Quaken, because they have every possible combination. They have every possible version of that knife that could possibly exist, or at least when you think they do, then they come out with some version. And this is now exclusives. I mean, with steels and everything and different exclusives, you could continue down the rabbit hole with that knife. Naf, good to have you here. How you doing, sir? What up? I have the Strider S. That was very loud, even in my ears. I have the Strider SMF NSN version and utility blade Balisong NSN. So that is the one that was a naval, what do you call it? It was issued to the Navy, right? And it has a naval serial number. Is that what NSN stands for? If so, wow, that is so cool. But you have a really cool knife collection, so that doesn't come as a surprise. And you were the one who exposed me to this knife, and now I just saw that this knife, which I absolutely love, I just really dig this knife. But now they have it in the version you had, which is hollow ground with the bolster lock, and I have to get that. But man, I'm just not spending $400 on knives right now. Brandon Sutton. Oh, what are you doing? It has a round tang with a peened pommel, right? Wait, which one, Brandon? Oh, wait. Take me back. No, no, it has a sort of nut. Let's see. It has a nut that it looks like it screws in. Hang on. It's not the kind that has the pin that goes through horizontally at the end of the tang. Is that what you're trying? Is that what you're getting at? I'm going to let this focus in. So we're getting a little bit of diagnosis from Brandon Sutton about the provenance of this old K-bar that my brother gave me. So cool. Such a great knife, and such a piece of history. Speaking of a piece of history, and I like I said, I don't want to go down the watch rabbit hole, but I got my dad a really cool watch that looked like the watch I remember him wearing as a child, that he was issued when he was in the Air Force. And it's something that they put in my feed on Instagram, and I was like, oh yes, I'm going to get that for my dad. And it is a cool watch. Can't remember what it's called. I'll get back to you on that. You're like, yeah, Bob, you should tell us that story again. Will B says, Grimsmo Norseman, Ferrum Forge Alarus, Benchmade Rift with custom scales. Very nice. Winter Blade Factor. Okay, so he's got a Norseman and a Factor on him. And then to take care of some of the work, he's got, and then he's got the Beglider XL. I love that knife. Spyderco Ronin 2, great fixed blade knife. And super thin and light, the Axial Alpine. The Revo X. Okay. Will be the Revo Exo 3V, the Olight Baton 3, and the Baton 3 Pro Max, and an O-Pen. Okay, one. All right, this is a semester at Yale. Tell me. Okay, let me know. Will, are you like Blade Ogre? Are you a large gentleman with lots of pockets on a, and do you carry these all on your person, or are you like me? You might put this many knives in a holder in your bag so that at some point you can pull it out and obsess over it at your desk, or what. This is an incredible carry. So, yo. Professor EDC says, today I carried my TRC South Pole Kaiser T1. I love that Kaiser T1, designed by German Ulrich Hennecke. And of course, the Jack Wolf Knives low drag jack. You got, dude, Professor EDC, dude, I'm calling him dude. Professor, you have such a nice Jack Wolf Knives compendium collection. Really, really nice. Well, a really great collection overall. Dion Page had the Recon 1. Very nice. Do I have my Recon 1 out? I was, no. Okay, I was looking at a whole bunch of my big cold steels before we started rolling here. Happy Haptic says, Norsey and a pouch is all I need. Norseman and a pouch. Okay. I want to talk a little bit about that. Before we do, I just want to say that you know what? Let's do the giveaway let's do the giveaway at 11. And until then, I want to show a little bit of this EDC stuff here. Hero Stick says, went for color today. Spyderco Sage 5 in mint. So does that mean it's got an M4 blade? Excuse me. Finch Cimarron. That's a great knife. In blue and teal. Black Swiss Army knife, Alox Cadet. Very nice. That's oh, that's Sage 5. Yeah, I know that's Sage 5. Yeah, I'm well acquainted. That's cool. So I am looking forward to, you know what? I did not salute Brandon with this K-bar. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Let me know what you think. 1943, another time. Camillus, USN. Camillus, New York. Blade Ogre says, yes, the GEC is in molasses and grits. That's what it is. It's delicious. I mean, I love my wife almost made shrimp and grits last weekend, and then something came up and we had to go out. And then that, you know, the shrimp ended up going last minute into some pasta. And we didn't make grits. We are not I grew up in the north. Grits, I was like, I don't know, what do you put, maple syrup on them? But every way I've had grits has been delicious. But it's up to my wife, who grew up in the South, to make them. Blame Dexter says, speaking of Microtech, they have the best new stuff this year at SHOT Show. Really excited to pick up the MSI and manual stitch. Manual stitch. Oh, yeah. Yes. Not only that, but you know what's exciting about new models? I was just thinking about this today, is that it also means new models on the secondary market. And I'm sure we all have our places that we prowl. So it's cool to see new stuff pop up. You know, once you get excited about it and once they go away, you know, because I'm always missing drops, or, you know, don't have the $400 to spend the moment something comes out and I'm caught blindsided. So it's always kind of cool to keep up with the secondary after, you know, at the beginning of the year. JN, good to have you here, sir. What up? He says, what up, Jim? What up, y'all? Gift knives carry today. Gift knives carry today. All right, so these are all knives you have gotten as gifts, I am presuming. The Roxy 3, the Wee Roxy 3, designed by Terrell and his brother Seth Todd. Mannix 2, love that knife. A couple of nice slicey Japanese blades, very nice. Also, Native Chief, Eldris, Minimalist, and Olight Perrin, and pointy stick or two. And a pointy stick or two. I love that. So the Eldris, the Minimalist, the Native Chief, that's your S90V Beauty, right? And Japanese, man, that's a lot of knives on you. Everyone carries a lot of knives, and this is good. Carrying the Batch 2 Winter Blade Co. Factor, amongst other bits and bobs. Very nice, this Winter Blade Co. He's a cool dude. I've tried to get him on the show. He is not interested in doing kind of that kind of thing, but he was like, but I'll share dad jokes with you. So we volleyed those a little bit. Very nice guy, and just, man, cool mind. It's cool to follow the Winter Blade Co. page and to see the other things this guy does when he's just messing around. Yeah, he had one that was like magnetic. think they were magnetically. Anyway, it was a little dart gun that he made. You know, you could shoot little ninja darts into the wall. Yeah, anyway. I think he did it with magnets, or maybe not. Drive Strength said, not carrying it, but was doing a little stropping on my Boker Bronco in 3V. Ooh, nice. Nice little outdoor bushcrafty type. Yeah, that was a one that I had here on loan from Hero Sticks. That is a nice little knife. Who designed that? That was one of the Danes designed that, I believe. Jeremiah says Opinel number 9 in my pocket. So that's a little bit larger than the usual. The standard is the number 8. I love the number 10. That's my favorite inexpensive going out steak knife. And I did a whole bunch of, they're very fun to resculpt the handles and resculpt the blades. Opinels are fun just to, they're so cheap and they're great little 1095 blades, and you can just shape them. So all you need is a file or a some sort of a sander and change the handles, and they're really fun, and they make great steak knives. Anyway, Opinel number 9 in my pocket and the Falkniven A1 on the table. So is the A1, is that like the sort of 4 or 5 inch dual sort of clip point outdoor knife, or is the A1 the big one? The Golok is stopped and tucked away after sharpening a pencil. Nice. Very nice. This is the kind of person who shows up to the show, someone who's sharpening a pencil with a Golok. By the way, pencil sharpening is one of those things that all of these knives, not really the big knives, not the fixed blade knives, but all of my pocket knives, they all go through that, because that's the main test. I use pencils a lot. And yeah, if you can do a nice sharpening job with it, the blade can stick around. And it might even, if not. Congrats on 20,000 subs, Bob and Jim. Thank you, Byron. Greatly appreciated. Congrats on 20,000, says Blade Ogre. Well, thank you. It's one of those things that, it's just nice to see. It's just sort of 20,000. That's great. Soon to be 30,000, no doubt. Thank you, James Moore. Good to have you here, James, as always. Speaking about classing up the joint, PMSL is pissing myself laughing. I love it. My Irish pals say it instead of LOL. I love that. PMSL. Okay, I'll have to tell my wife. She'll love that. Never Enough Knives 007 says Cold Steel Spartan. Yes. The Spyderco Yojimbo. I have my Spartan out, which is just rare. Spyderco Yojimbo, I'm sorry. And a JK Custom Knives fixed sheep's foot in 01. And the Swiss Army knife Huntsman today. Yojimbo, love the Yojimbo. JK Custom fixed blade. That's the one I'm unfamiliar with. Razorback says Maximet Para 3. Mora Robust and Condor Scout hatchet. Man, I just love Condor's knives. I don't know. I like just looking at them, only because I'm slowly sharpening it through the day. Says, oh, the Scout hatchet. Got you. I do love looking at their knives. I really want the Undertaker Bowie. I've wanted that for a while. Maximet. How do you like Maximet, and what are its qualities again? Is it super hard? And so great edge retention. Can't remember. Just me. Good to have you here, Just me. I think people, excuse me. Oh, so sorry. I think people may want to get some non-perishable food items to complement their knives. If you get me. Yep. Maybe learn Russian or Chinese also. Just a thought. Well, hopefully that last part isn't true, but in good times and bads, you should have storable food, and they make it so that it lasts 25 years, and get it while you can. It's good. Every household should, so that your household doesn't have to go to the neighbor's household and ask. So good point there, but no, let's keep speaking English. Ket McNussart says, today I'm carrying a Bear Forest GT EDC Jack Wolf knives, Venom Jack. Do love the Venom Jack. Finch Reciprocity and an Eldris. The Reciprocity, is that their new super acute pointed Warncliffe? I have lost track of their models, though each one is beautiful, man. And I love their new gun stock jack. That's a cool one. Gun stock flipper. Professor EDC says, "Oh, now you owe it to us to make a full video on how you do those Detroit pizzas." That would be up to my wife. But yeah, those things are awesome. Pizza scissors. Okay, that's the next generation kitchen utensil, pizza scissors. So my grandma, my dad's mom, she's the one that lived in town. My mom's mom lived in New York. So we saw my dad's mom more often. She would bring over, we would do dinner on Sundays, and she'd bring over these pizzas that were big square pizzas she made in a pan, and she didn't put mozzarella on them. It was just tomatoes. She blend up tomatoes, and she put that down, a little bit of salt and Parmesan cheese, and then no mozzarella. And it would sit on our counter, of course, wrapped up like all week. And you would come and you would use kitchen shears and cut a piece of the pizza. Oh God, it was so good. My grandma's pizza, man. That's one of those things like, and her bullets, her cavatelli. If I could just taste that, I'd love that. But if I really think hard, I can kind of conjure it up. But that's cold. I want to taste the real thing. Chad Damron, good to have you here, Cham. Hogtooth looks awesome, dude. Hogtooth, yeah, it is. They are awesome. Here's my ruffian. This is the one I carry mostly. I don't know. It goes back and forth between this and the Tonto. But this one carries, this one is substantially larger and carries just as well. And it has everything to do with the curved handle, the curved pommel, and the rounded surfaces here and here. And they're not that, even the full size one here is not that long. He makes one that's a size up from this. That's more of a campy kind of thing. But yeah, anyway, thank you. I love those knives. Go check out Hogtooth. Actually, I was just looking at his feed today, or just looking at Instagram, and on his feed, I saw that he just finished up a batch of, like, I don't know, 5 of each of these, and they all have these beautiful olive green handles, or olive micarta handles. They look really nice. Anyway, Caleb says, today I carried a Surge Orbit and an HEA Designs Falcon. Oh, that Falcon is cool. And Surge, anything he does is cool. I can't think of what the Orbit is, though. Pocket Check. Oh, from James Moore, this is always good. The Des Horn Imvubu. And Thorburn, this is the one that I like. L36M front flipper, both with marbled carbon fiber. That Thorburn, I remember you getting, I don't know, less than a year ago, I guess. And I remember thinking, I think for me personally, Thorburn is hit or miss design wise. Or it's not hit or miss his designs, how I feel about them. But I always liked the look of that one. Jeremiah says the Falkniven A1 today. So we got 2 Falkniven A1s. I'm pretty sure that's the 4-inch clip point utility, and what a cool knife. I always thought the sheath looked cool too with the vents. I carried my new Weston says I carried my new petrified fish wing. Thanks, Knife Junkie. Awesome. So he won the petrified wing with the really cool shaped blade. I love the shape of that blade, and very ergonomic, comfortable, oddly shaped handle from the lucky number 7 giveaway last week. Drive Strength, also a winner, says, Bob, have you experimented with the verts? No. Wait. Bob, have you been experimenting with the verts? What's that mean with the verts? Verts? Was ist das? Will B says, I carried a fixed blade every day. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yes. I think you should. And if you don't, it should be in your backpack or whatever your car, whatever you have closest to you. That's not on you. Drive Strength. Bob's been experimenting with new carry system, a Vertex Unity tactical clutch belt. Allows you to carry a fixed blade handgun and other gear with no Oh. I'm sorry. I thought you were asking, have I been... Okay. So, this is a cool carry system, a new one that Drive Strength has been experimenting with. I'm sorry. that I'm slow. The Vertex Unity Tactical Clutch Belt allows you to carry a fixed blade, handgun, and other gear with no problem. So does that mean it's built so that it doesn't pull, you know, I'm curious. I'm curious to learn more about that. If I'm shifting in my seat, I don't have to go to the bathroom. I am just I'm caffeinated and I'm excited. And I'd love to be pacing around the room right now. Byron Kennedy said the only knife is a kitchen to cut birthday cake for my daughter-in-law who is turning a decrepit 42. Oh dear. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Daughter-in-law. Daughter-in-law, have a happy birthday. That's awesome, Byron. Enjoy the cake, and I hope this is your daughter-in-law's best year yet. 42. She is a babe in arms and needs to remember that. Mike Flamian, how you doing, Mike? Good to have you here. Randall Model 14. God, I love that knife. That's the one where they just come right out and say, "This is a Bowie." Even though it's in the tactical shape, there are a lot of other Randall Bowies that are bigger but that Model 14, on a shoulder rig. So that's probably the Gatgo leather shoulder rig. That is so cool. Mike, what can I say, man? That's pretty sweet. JN says the Civivi L million of them. Yes, exactly. Speaking of Civivi and that company, I've also this Sen cut my brother-in-law got me for Christmas is just so cool. I love this thing. I love that blade shape. It's perfect for my Bowie fascination. And it's great for EDC. Jim, I feel like can you please go back? I think have a nice day. Good to see you. And I'm going to talk to you in a sec, but I think I missed something. Medford makes the ultimate K-bar. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that big beefy thing. Have a nice day. Good to see you here, sir. The Blackjack Knives Model 5 with black micarta handle. Okay, so Have a Nice Day, by the way, has a killer fixed blade knife collection. And served in one of our most storied units, or two of our most storied units. I'll let him tell it. Thank you for your service, of course, but my God, what a cool collection this guy has. Blackjack Knives number 5, model number 5. I can't think of what that is, but is that one that looks like a Randall? I'm assuming it is. What was that last one? Professor EDC? Ooh, awesome. Congratulations, Bob. Okay, cool. Thank you. My pleasure, man. Will B says, I'm 6'2" and weigh a little less than 200 pounds. I carry the Fixies and Exo on a belt, and the rest are in pockets. The Norseman does most of my work, though. I use it more than others. All right, so Will's got some emotional support happening with those knives, like the Exo, for instance. What is that if not an emotional support knife? EXO, ESK, it just makes sense. James says, PSA, coming up in Orange County, February 10th and 11th, Tactical Knife Invitational and California Custom Knife Show. Not too late to arrange a trip, Bob. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It isn't, is it? I remember talking with Peter Carey about that, about the invitational and just how cool it is and what a great experience for everyone it is. Professor EDC says, places we prowl, missed the drop, pointy stick. If our wives heard our conversations, they'd think we're just cavemen. Well, maybe they already do. That's funny. They do, but that's fine. That's what they. In a lot of cases, that's what they like, and I'm not saying they want cavemen, but my wife is man, I could go back to back with her, even though she's petite, and we could fight our way out of a bar, and I trust her like that, as I trust her implicitly in every other way. But on Thursday night, I love it because I come down here, I do Thursday night knives, I have everything arrayed around me. And she goes upstairs, and oftentimes it's her chance to catch up with some of her girls, and she'll get on, FaceTime, and they talk about girl stuff, whatever that is. And so I like it. We are not cavemen. We are just men who are happy in our man caves. Michael Morgan, good to have you here, Michael Morgan. Shaman plus case copper lock today. Shaman. I can never remember what's acceptable. Word police, anyone out there? Shaman or shaman? I do know it's Tonto, and that's what I'm sticking with. Dave told me that, and I know he knows. Whopper Rugby, good to have you here, Whopper. EDC is Civivi Conspirator. The Conspirator, is that? No. Oh. Anyway, I pretty much love all Civivis, but I'm trying to remember what the Conspirator is. Is that the second button lock they came out with after the Cogent? I think it might be, but I might be wrong. JN Condor looked great at SHOT Show and Knife Center's video, and they usually have Joe Flowers there. He's a cool guy, man. Joe Flowers is really an interesting dude and very, very nice, and has a lot of cool stories to tell. I remember when he was on the show, I asked him what the weirdest thing he saw in the jungle was, and he basically described being paced around by a Sasquatch down in the jungles of not Venezuela, Guatemala, and so he described all the things that people who have Sasquatch encounters discussed, and I thought that was pretty cool. Something weird out there following him around, pacing him, throwing stuff at him. Could be a person, but I prefer to think it's something else. DriveSync says Condor makes great stuff, and Joe Flowers is a trip during interviews. Yeah, he is. I feel like he's someone who's got so many experiences to draw from in any answer. Knife Center always does a good job with their Joe Flowers. Yeah, Knife Center is great. They were the first people I ever bought a knife from online in 1998 when I ordered an Emerson Commander, and I thought it would get there the next day for some reason, because I bought a Macintosh computer online. That was the first thing I ever bought, and it showed up the next day. I thought everything, when you buy it on the internet, showed up the next day, and it showed up like a year later. No, showed up longer than a year later at my desk at work. Thank God I still work there. Otherwise, some other guy would have had some sweet knife show up. And I was like, oh my God, opened it up. And there it was. But anyway, love. I've always loved Knife Center. Hero Stick says, I'm still longing for the Finch Buffalo Tooth. Oh man, are they sold out, Hero? The longing, that almost hurts the way you say that. If you're going to long for it, long for the Cocobolo version, because that is the truest and best expression of that knife. If the least fancy, which it is, I really think it's very gentlemanly with that wood. Jeremiah says, got to get the kids in bed. Hey, Jeremiah, take care of what's most important. Thank you for showing up. Always a pleasure. And kiss those little kitties. Good night. Have a good one, man. Tim says, would that be a tomato pie, not a pizza? Oh, yeah. We just called it pizza, though, Tim. Yeah. Oh, well, first of all, hello, Tim. Always a pleasure to have Tim Simcoe with us. But yeah, that was like a tomato pie because it didn't need really to be refrigerated. It got eaten in like 2 days. It was the sort of thing where, the kitchen was a main pass-through room. So if grandma brought pizza, kind of every time you pass through, you'd snip off a pizza sliver and kind of eat it on your way to do whatever, go to the laundry room or whatever. And then at Christmas time, my mom's cookies, it was the same thing, walking through. It's like, and that's why I used to be overweight, because my mom's a great cook. Everyone in my family is a great cook. And it was around. It's just like, man, why not just eat this whole pizza? It's right here and my brother's out, and that's how it was. Whopper Rugby says, leave the fixed blade in the truck. Can't carry it in most jobs. Yep. Here, Whopper, this was cool. I was filling up gas recently, and I even took a picture of this dude. And I'm sitting. This was an icy cold day, so I was sitting in the car while the pump was going. I usually don't do that. It's kind of a matter of pride. But I was watching these guys funneling. It looked like some sort of fiber optic cable into the ground, and it was happening across this big intersection. And the guy closest to me, who seemed to be like a foreman, had a big belt knife on his on his belt, on his right hip, and it was about the size of a K-bar. And I got out of my car and I kind of walked close and confirmed that it seemed to be like not a brand I knew or just kind of a cheapo, but I was so impressed. I thought that was so cool. I'm like, here's a guy who's like, he's got the vest, he's got the hard hat, he's working a job. He's like, I need a knife, and I need a knife. I guess he needs a knife of some size, and he didn't feel weird about putting it on his hip, and I thought that was cool. I, like you, cannot do that, but I admired that guy for doing it. Drive Strength says the Vertex clutch belt is basically a belly. Oh, I've seen this, a belly band, but with multiple different stretchy pouches built in. Really awesome to wear under sweatshirts for or a coat for quick access. That is cool, Drive Strength. I have seen that recently, I think in my Instagram feed. It seems to make sense too. I've seen women carry weapons in the stretchy bits of their or the pockets of their yoga pants and stuff, which is pretty cool. Oh, we got to do this giveaway. Professor EDC says, Bob, I'm gonna have to have one of your designs signed and all. What do you mean? Oh, what are you talking about? Oh, one of my knives. Okay, well, we'll get to that when we get to that. But yes, that would be a great honor. That would be a great honor. We don't know what we're going to call it. We have a little code name for it, but that's but that's not what we're going to call it. Hero Stick says, it seems that the Wee Civivi Sencut company is putting out their most innovative. That's how I would say it if I were class. Innovative and creative designs at the Sencut level. That's how it was when Civivi was the lower level. I'm sure it's a risk tolerant strategy. Exactly. It's like, well, this is just a $60 knife, so let's give this a try. Blame Dexter says, my wife doesn't exist, so I'm good. Wife doesn't exist, so I'm good. All right, man. Well, I guess that means you don't have to worry about negotiating the comings and goings of your knife collection, which could be considered a privileged position. Hero Stick says, this joke is old now, but it's the same as when you're talking about the dick pic like a year ago, and my baby mama was like, what? Oh, my God, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, that's a funny one. That's a funny one. I have a body sense of humor. As shaman, says Michael. Shaman. Okay. I have a body sense of humor, especially with my brother and in private. But I got to say, having two girls and having a wife who has patrolled the language a little bit. Nomadic Adventures. Good to have you here, sir. The bodiness has left a little bit. At least publicly. And I have a job where there are only people I trust I can speak like that with. Whopper says, the Civivi once lubed up just light and smooth. Wait. The Civivi once lubed up just light and smooth. They're not bad. Great to carry, though. Rather have my my silver stag knives. Oh, yeah, no kidding. Yeah. So this is kind of I have some Civivis and I have some a couple of Vostids and some knives and like that, kind of in the less expensive Chinese but really awesome made category. And some of them are gift knives, so I'm not going to get rid of those, but the other ones, I picked them up and I'm like, yeah, I could sell this. And I pick it up and I'm like, my God, this is so good. It's so well done. And it fits. They're hard to get rid of. It's like I gotta like make a deal when I'm not around them and then just be forced to sell them on the road. Wait, can you go back to that last one? Michael Morgan, thank you, Jim. On the road to Shaman Bala, Three Dog Night. Oh, okay. I do like Three Dog Night. I only know a couple of their songs, especially the "That Ain't No Way to Have Fun." That's a great song. We Grow Fire says, great show. Thanks, Jim. First time enjoying your Knife Junkie. Respect. Yeah, Jim kills it on this show. Without Jim, this show would be a mere shadow of what it is. Yeah. Speaking of classing up the joint. Thank you, Jim. Nomadic Adventure says, never get comfortable in a corporate environment with having friends and speaking freely. Yes, that is, I would say that is wise. I would say that is very, very wise, especially this day and age. In this day and age. Okay, before I want to show this EDC case and a couple of things that I want to talk EDC. I even have my winter jacket here. I want to show the EDC what I carry inside my winter jacket because it's a little ridiculous, but maybe it's not. It's probably not with this crowd. But first, let's get to this Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway. I want to thank all of the patrons, everyone who views this show. I am grateful to. And then there are some who donate their money to the show, and I'm very grateful to them. And then there are some who donate the most they can, and I am so grateful to them. I am putting them on a random wheel, spinning that wheel, and then giving whomever it lands on this knife. This is the Off Grid Knives Rhino V2, and it is in Coyote and that beautiful gray wash. I love this knife, and look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Where is it? Here it is. Boom. See? Just about the same knife, and then whoosh, look at that, large and small. Well, I'm keeping the small one. I love that. Got a little collection of them, a budding collection. Every version he puts out of this, I will get. Love it. This is a great little around the house knife, and it's good for little hands and the like. But this one, this is a beast. I love this one. I am going to keep my all black version of this and send this along. This is 154 cm blade steel. This is the version of this V2 version of the Rhino just came out, and he sent it to me. He being Carrie of Off Grid sent it to me with this, and I am keeping this. Thank you very much. And then he also sent two trackers, a Tracker X2 black wash and a Tracker stone wash. And I'm going to be giving away the stone wash in a couple of weeks here. Not sure for what. Probably just random appreciation giveaway. But the off-grid knives, I love them. And if you want to buy one, check out, do it through an affiliate link, off-grid, or TheKnifeJunkie.com/off-grid. And it sends a little money back this way. And that's a good thing. I can buy myself more off-grid knives for the channel. I'm just kidding. Okay, no, I'm not. All right, next up, we're gonna give this away. Jim, would you be so kind as to bring up a list of our Gentleman Junkies? And I got some news from one of them right before the show that he is no longer a Gentleman Junkie, so I will omit him from the running. But I would love to read off these folks and also put up that wheel and talk and give away this lovely knife. Okay, so these Gentleman Junkies, I do appreciate. You guys are awesome. 9198 David, the great and powerful Ben Belkin, Byron Kennedy, Caleb Townsend, Cam Michael, Colin Maison Pierre, Edwin Callow, Ezekiel Yates, Francis Valaire, Gordon Tillman, Grim Reaper, Hero Sticks, Izzy, Jay McConnell, Jared Strasbaugh, Jesse Tellis, Jock, Kay Mason, Kevin Moore, Kevin Seastrom, Larry Elizondo, Martin Gamboa, Never Enough Knives 007, Scott Nelson, Sean Curry, Timothy Becker, Tong Kim, Will Boyer, Yuval Peleg, Zachary Roberts, and Zach Williams. Thank you, one and all, Gentleman Junkies. You are not only gentlemen, you are scholars, and I greatly appreciate your support. And so as a mere token of my support and Jim's support, we would like to spin this wheel of destiny. So, Jim, let's bring it up, sir. And in the meantime, I'll regale you with flipping this thing. Oh, by the way, the little version, you expect a small flipper like that not to be as good. This thing drops shut even quicker than the big guy. This thing is awesome. So keep the and full width. So it's an easy grip. I think I already mentioned that. All right, let's bring this up and spin it. All right, in 3, 2, and 1. There it goes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see where it stops. We'll see who I'm sending this to. It is Tong Kim. Tong Kim, congratulations, Tong Kim. Timothy Becker, it was so close. It was so close, but it landed on Tong. I swear it does this every time. It just barely gets over the line. And Tong, you are the winner, sir. So this off-grid knife will be going out to you. I believe I have your address. It'd be great if you could confirm that through Patreon. Just send me your address. Make sure, and I will send you. Oh, that's so cool. Wait, and I will send you this one. But let's see if this works. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. It's pretty wild. Which one? Which one? It's this one. It's coming to you. All right. Thank you. And thank you for tolerating my sleight of hand. I know it's impressive. Okay. All right. Let's talk EDC for a second because I have to do an audit of my bag. It's about 30 pounds now, and I just keep putting crap into it. We also mispronounce Adamas and Bowie, but oh well. Body blue raised arms. Okay. Adamas, is it Adamus? And Bowie, of course, is Bowie because David Bowie. Colin, how's it going? We have Colin Maison Pierre, designer and head of CM Designs, and also one half of Devo Knives. Colin, it's great to have you here. Sorry you did not win the off-grid knives Rhino V2, but there's always next time, sir. That honor goes to Tong Kim. Hero Stick says, I have to say again that while being included in the giveaway is an exciting joy, it's the early content that really makes being a Gentleman Junkie awesome. Worth it 100%. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Hero. Hero was not, we did not arrange this. As a matter of fact, Jim's back there like, I wish Bob would say stuff like that. Hero, thank you. I'm glad you appreciate that because, it's extra time that the guest is there talking to me, and it's extra time that Jim's, doing producing and posting that. So it's great to hear that you appreciate it and that you like it. So awesome. And let that be something that might encourage others to go check out Patreon. All right, so take it or leave it with the EDC. Now, what I mean by that is, where do you stop with it? I know some of us carry 9 knives, and that's a knife thing. But what about all the other stuff that comes with it? Now, last Christmas, my wife got me something pretty cool. She got me this. This is a leather EDC thing, too big for my pocket. I don't wear skinny jeans, but I don't wear big giant baggy jeans either. So this was too big for my pocket, but I had an idea. First of all, she also gave me the Fisher Space Pen here. I love the Fisher Space Pen. These things are great. If you don't have one, you should get one. I highly recommend them. I have 2. Actually, I think I have 3 of them. And then she also got me this great little flashlight. This is an Olight. Can't remember the name, but I have 2 of these. Also, I really like this little knife, and it's inexpensive, or flashlight, and it's inexpensive. And then it has one of these clips that you can clip onto your baseball hat brim. So if you need an impromptu headlamp, you can just slip this onto your baseball hat. Just make sure you have a baseball hat, and you're good to go. And then I have this old Swiss Army knife that my brother gave me. And then let's see, I looked it up. It's from the early 90s. I can't remember from when, but it's an old Mountaineer, I think. So I put that in there. And then I also have this little pry bar called the Bro something. What was this called? This is from JB Stout, Pocket Trash. He makes really cool knives, but he also does these cool little pocket pry bar things. He's the guy who did the Lateralis for Boker. But a cool little pry bar he sent me. He calls this a bro bar or something, bro something. But anyway, I keep that in there. And I thought once I got this little EDC thing together, this was a year ago, I was like, I'm simplifying. I don't need to carry all this stuff around. I have a get home bag in my car with everything in it that I need. And then I have stuff in the car also, just randomly. Like, I don't need everywhere I go to have a backpack on my back full of stuff. like when I go into work. I don't need to bring all that stuff into work, but I do. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to pare it down. The channel growth is awesome, says Nomadic Adventures. Why, thank you, sir. I couldn't agree more. I'm really excited about that. That is a slick fat flashlight. Yeah, I do like it because it's small. This little thing, I'm like, okay, I'm paring down and I'm going to build a small EDC bag around this thing right here. And I have a little sling bag, it's like a little Maxpedition sling bag that, you can put a pistol in, but you can't put a binder in it or anything, approaching a brief. It's a smaller thing. I was like, that's going to be my EDC bag. I don't need anything more than that, which is actually not true because I do carry around bigger binders and that kind of thing. But I thought it was all going to come down to this. Whatever knife it was in my pocket, and then this stuff, and then whatever little random doodads would come along. And actually, I did a terrible job. Of paring it down, because then I also have one of these Maxpedition things that goes in every bag I carry. Do you have one of these fruity little things? I mean, I love them, but it's so organized. It's the only way I could do this, because otherwise all this just rattles around in the bag. I got a little knife, I got some Advil, I got a lighter, a little, what do you call this? A little squirt, Leatherman squirt, a cable for plugging in my lights. That's a little USB, all this kind of stuff. Safe first aid kit in there, Torx wrench. I hate plastic silverware. You know how some people have a thing about straws? Well, I have a thing about plastic silverware. I hate it. And well, I do hate the thought of one crappy meal eaten on one crappy plastic utensil, and then that utensil is out there choking whales. Yeah, I don't like that at all. But the other thing is, I really like cutlery and very cutlery adjacent to silverware. I like nice silverware. We had to replace our silverware not too long ago because I think over time they got thrown out. We have a lot of parties and big family things happening. So we had to get a whole bunch of new silverware. And we spent the extra amount of money to get the heavy, thick. I've always liked silverware. Is that weird? And drinkware. So I would rather go into a restaurant and pull one of these little plastic Lexan sort of knife spork things, spoon knife and fork things to eat my Chinese food than take one of their plastic things and choke a whale. Also, I have a whistle and a safety whistle with thermometer and compass, all that stuff in here. And this is just next to the sketchbook and next to everything else. And then my backpack has these little pockets and they're all filled with stuff. How do you guys do it? How do you manage all this stuff? Any thoughts, any ideas? What should I pare down to? You're like, well, I don't know. What do you need? Well, that's the thing. I don't know until I need it. So that's why I obsessively carry all this stuff. Is it preparedness or is it just obsessiveness? You're like, do I get paid by the hour for this? K Mason says, I like to stay light for regular EDC. A pen, small multi-tool, small flashlight, and a quill. Very nice. I like the quill, man. Just for pokey scrapey and get off me too. Nomadic Adventures says, having the abilities to go hands-free with it is what caught my eye. Oh, okay. Having the ability to go hands-free with it is what caught my eye. Yes, I do like that. And it's small and light enough to do that. I just got that big night core. It's not big, but by comparison, it's bigger than that. Yeah. So this is the bag. There's so much crap in here. I'm going to do a separate video, and pare it down. But when I got this, which is very cool, really like this flashlight, I was like, oh, that sucks. That clip doesn't double back. But I realized if I put this on my visor, it's so heavy. I mean, it's not really tenable. It's a smaller light like that works. But this thing is cool too. Nomadic Adventures. Estate sales are great places to find that stuff. I bet. Jim is very minded that way. Estate sales and antiques and I forget about that stuff, but yeah, great place. Jim will send me every once in a while. He'll send me an email of an auction or an estate sale where he sees a lot of knives, and he'll say, "Is this lot any good? Are these knives any good?" And frequently the answer is no. Every once in a while, there's a diamond in the rough, or we live near some affluence in this part of the world, and there was someone who had an amazing knife collection where, it's like, well, you could spend all that money, but reselling it would be a chore. Hero Stick says, I've pared down a lot. I have a 2x5 pouch that fits my Ruger LCP. I always thought that was a cool gun. My Ruger LCP, writing pen, Sharpie, and 3-inch blade length knife of choice, credit cards, cash, lip balm, and sunglasses. That all fits in a 2x5 pouch? That's pretty cool. 2x5 pouch. So what does that go? Does that have a sling? Do you put that on your on your belt? What do you do with that? Justice Crusade, good to have you here, Justice. Black Triangle Group, check it out. I follow Black Triangle Group. They do a lot of cool tools for non-permissive environments. I love that stuff. Thank you for the heads up. I appreciate it. Hero Stick says, and the Field Notes notebook. I've never had a Field Notes notebook. What is the USP of the Field Notes notebook? What is the unique selling proposition of that? Is it that it's waterproof, or what is it? You can write underwater with that? That's never come up for me. Though I am a pen and paper guy, that has never come up for me. What is the thing about Field Notes? Is it great paper? I understand that. I do. I went to art school. I know what great paper is. Byron says, PSA, Art is releasing the small titanium fork and knife in small pocket case later in 2023, both threaded and break down like a pool cue. That's badass. I love that. I'm gonna get that, and then when I'm out to lunch, if it's a work lunch, or if I'm out to dinner, I'm just going to, yes, no, I don't know, I don't need that. When the waiter tries to do the setup, I don't need that, and I'll just open it up. I have my own and attack the steak. Jared Neve, Jared and Kara, how's it going, guys? Hello, everyone. Thanks for the shout out, Bob. Oh, as always, man, I learn a lot from your channel, and you've done some of the best sharpening of any of my knives, and I have a couple of them right out here. As a matter of fact, I was carrying my Sebenza all this week while I was gone. That was one of the knives I carried a lot, and this edge is still amazing. This was also a tip repair job. All right, so Jared, I am going to salute you with something special. What shall it be? Let us see. I should say Jared and Kara, you guys have awesome lives, by the way. I'm going to do it with this. Here's to you, sir and lady. This is my hogtooth fighter. This is my sub-hilt fighter that I love so much. Before we were talking about the Factor, the Winter Blade Co. Factor, and it was your Factor that is the only Factor I've ever experienced, that Blade Show in the pit. I remember I got a chance. You guys let me check that out. That is a cool knife. I gotta get some of the Winter Blade Co's into my life. But anyway, here's to you guys. Thank you so much for that very generous super chat. I do appreciate it. Here's to you. All right, the Neves, ladies and gentlemen, two really, really cool people. And man, I had a blast hanging out with them at all at the what a beauty, they say. Yeah, man, I love that thing. Love it. I wish I could carry it around and kind of like claim it was for work. But I got to get different work to make that work. JN says, I have a Write in the Rain notebook. Good stuff. So have you done it? Have you written in the rain? And what was so pressing? This is the thing I got to know. Or is this like something for military? You're orienteering, you got to write stuff down. You're in the jungle and you're like, that's what I could see, actually. You got to write the things down, we're at 5 degrees here, and yeah, you can tell my vast orienteering Brandon Sutton says, with the Ricasso stamp and the circular threaded tang, I would say that Camillus is early 1943. All right. So since, yeah, all right. I'm going to write that down. Early 1943. All right, Brandon. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Brandon Sutton's got the knowledge with the K bars. I really appreciate that. Because these things are not so easy to research. I mean, some of them are like this. The 1918 was pretty easy to research, but some of the other ones, especially the Filipino ones of mixed origin, are difficult. FEMA camp etiquette for dummies. Good to have you here, sir. Presumably, maybe your new name, Knife Design NWC. No whales choked. No whales choked. That does have a ring. Neve says, we will have a blast this year as well. I can't wait for Blade Show this year. I cannot either. You know what? I wish I could go to all the shows. I wish I could go to SHOT Show. That would be cool, man. To see all the other non-knife hardware would be fun. It'd be fun to do a lot of those things. But yes, I am very much looking forward to Blade Show Atlanta. As a matter of fact, I just got an email. I think early bird tickets are soon available. And I'm sure I will pass that up because I'll be like, oh, I got time, and then I'll wait till the last minute. But hey, man, that's what got me through school. Hero Stick says, Molly tactical pouches on Amazon, worth it. I think I got sold on the branding of Field Notes. They're not better than a little old school spiral mead. Yeah, you know what? Spiral notebooks suck in and out of pockets, in and out of bags over and over. Eventually, that little bastard on the end snags on something and it pulls, and that's curtains for that notebook. So, why not? Why not get a Moleskin or a Field Notes and treat yourself right? You know what? I'm afraid paper and pen are going to go away permanently. So pen nerds need to take heed, and paper nerds and all that. Just another knife guy. Good to have you here. Just got a Tour Knives Viper. So excited for it to come in, and it'll be my intro into EDCing a fixed blade. Which one is the Viper? Damn it! I've been watching your channel since the start, and I'm stoked how much your channel has grown. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a slow, and then it picks up, man. I don't know. Yeah. So I'm very happy, because that also means there are more. I'm kind of the person who, when we have a party and my wife and I like to entertain. Can I bring my, yeah, sure. The more the merrier, just as long as they're not, this isn't high school anymore. So as long as it's not rowdy, but if it's rowdy, I can take care of rowdy. So the more the merrier. And I love to see the numbers grow as well. Nomadic Adventure says, I know a farmer uses one for work as snow or rain old timer, refuses a cell phone, even flip phones. We settled for a life alert alarm for safety reasons. Wow. No, a farmer who uses one for work. Uses one what? Now I can't remember. But that's very interesting about the rest of it. Just like, no commute. I don't need the smartphone. I don't need the. It's like there was some commercial that was like, is here now a mattress as smart as you are. And I was like, what? I do not need a mattress as smart as I am. Geez, my 12-year-old daughter thinks she's as smart as I am. I don't need my inanimate mattress who I lay on, and do other disgusting things to, being smarter than me. Have a Knife Day says, my go bag has a buck 891 GCK ground combat knife, fixed blade, 5.5 5160 coyote tan spear point blade for the hip, and a unifier half talon knife by Buck Knives. Wait. Is that a bunch of knives, or is that the description of one knife? Ground combat knife, fixed. Okay, that's one. Dude, that sounds awesome. If I know you, maybe it has a VEF or two serration on it. Again, in awe of your fixed blade collection. especially your recent spate of old school SOGs. Oof. Just Another Knife Guy says, not gonna lie, you're the reason why I purchased the PM2 and a Fox 599 Karambit from your reviews back in the day. Really? That's awesome, man. Thank you. The PM2, as if the PM2 needed my video, but the Fox 599 Karambit did need my video, and that is one of the most viewed videos I've had. Of course, it's one of the oldest videos I've had, but not too many videos on that version of the Fox Karambit. A beautiful design, but the story is when it was first sent to Fox, when the first design was sent to Fox for production, there was a miscommunication with the measurements, and they made it for someone with Goliath hands. And so that was the 579, and it came in aluminum and a couple of other models, a G10 liner lock. And so they sold those, but they had a reputation for being kind of huge. And then they finally came back with the original dimensions in the 599. And I do believe that that's what once they got rid of the 579s, sold through those, I believe they stuck with the 599. Anyway, I'm glad you got it. And I'm glad I was able to convince you to get it, because it's a good knife to have, especially if you have a Karambit. I only have 2 folding Karambits and some folding Picals. These, I do prefer the folding Picals to the Karambits. They take less skill, and let's face it, if you actually need it, you don't want to have to rely on skill. Speaking of, check this out. So when we did the Lucky Number 7s giveaway, and we gave away 7 knives, all donated to the channel by Dave, This Old Sword Blade Reviews, one of our viewers in Canada won this, the 5-inch Dagger Vendetta. Great name for this knife, because that's what it seems like it's for. And he's like, I'm not sure if you can send that to Canada. I looked it up, and I basically figured out I could, if I tighten the pivot and put tape over the edge and tape it shut, and then declare it as a folding knife. And he was very gracious, and he said, this is Kevin. I don't know if I can say his last name, so I'll just say his first name. But Kevin in Canada said, hey, it would be my pleasure if you just kept that. And I was like, no, please. Okay. And thank you so much, Kevin. I really appreciate it. You know, I love the big folders. And so I will keep this in my collection. And it's a cool one, man. I do like Dagger, and they've been doing some really cool, interesting stuff recently with out the fronts. They have one out the front that's set up with a ring that is a straight bladed out the front with a ring that's actuated in reverse grip. Kind of interesting stuff. And then they do a lot with these very gently sloped plunge grinds, which I actually don't like the look of, but hey, we all know that looks and function don't always align. And you know, but when I'm buying a knife called Dagger with 2 R's, and it's obviously something tactical and probably excels at being stabby, looks do matter, because altogether it's an unnecessary knife for me. Jose Abdul Favela, good to see you here, man. It's been a while. It's nice to see your, I was gonna say nice to hear your voice, but I'm not hearing your voice. It's good to see your name. Just got titanium scales for my Yojumbo. Whoa, for DNA lasering, from DNA Lasering. I love it. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, I'm writing that one down. Let's see, Yojumbo scales. Sorry, got to do this, guys. Got to do this because I'm old. You're like, yeah, but you could just scroll back through the video. Yeah, I could, but you know. Okay, so I'm very glad to have that knife in my possession, and I want to show. Wait, where was it? Oh, here it is. Okay, so last week I got this in. This is the AUS 10 clip point version of the XL Voyager. This is, by the way, a great EDC bag knife, or any of the XL Voyagers, especially the Tanto or the or the drop point. Those are the most, let's say, universally usable blades. The Vaquero is great and usable, but you're dealing with some recurve, and then obviously the Chris and the Chris is just it would take some doing. Anyway, this is a great in the bag, very, very sturdy knife, big knife with a lock. This could be if you don't feel like carrying a fixed blade in your bag. I carry a little SOG Seal Pup 5-inch blade. This is a 5.5-inch blade, probably stronger than the Seal Pup. Maybe not, but just a great thing to have on you. And then it closes up into a small package. You could even zip it up into one of these things if you remove some of the other stuff. But a great knife to have. So my Voyager XL series is now complete, except I want the Rawls Tonto Signature Edition. If anyone knows what that is, well, here's to you. But it's an obscure limited edition Voyager Tonto that has a 50/50 blade and was a signature edition by this guy whose first name I can't remember, but his last name was Rawls, and he had the survival blog, a famous survival blog. Yeah, so I would like to have that CTS XHP, and then I would consider my XL Cold Steel Voyager collection finished. Speaking of very large cold steel folders, let's check this out. Just released or just shown off at SHOT Show, or it was announced at Blade Show, I think just shown off at SHOT Show. This is the giant new Mayhem from Cold Steel. Now, every time the word mayhem is uttered in the presence of my wife, she says mayhem, because she used to skate for the Manhattan Mayhem, a roller derby team in the Gotham League back in the day. And so mayhem is a word that has a special meaning in this household. It also has a special meaning because this household has seen some mayhem from time to time, as all households have. Look at this thing. This is about a 6-inch blade. It's a 3.5, depending on where you measure from, it's a 5.5-inch or 6-inch blade. And it is a big chunk. I mean, it's dramatic. It's almost cartoonish in its designs and in its design and proportions. If I look at it individually, blade and handle, I really like the handle. I have not had any experience with their new lock. What the hell is it called? Atlas lock. By all accounts, it's pretty damn strong, and it's a good lock. The handle looks great. It looks like it gives you a couple of positions. It's going to be a long one, a long handle. Looks like it gives you a couple of options, choking up, choking back. It even looks like it gives you some room where the ricasso meets that forward guard to sort of choke up there. Dramatic swale in the back of the blade, dramatic overall curved form factor. It reminds me a little bit of the knife that Aragorn, is that what his name was? Strider, the guy, in Lord of the Rings. It looked like his dagger. Viggo Mortensen's dagger. Very dramatic. I'm wondering, like this, a pooned talwar. Yes, yeah, that's what it is. A pooned talwar. My question is that a hollow grind? And I am betting it is not a hollow grind. I feel like a hollow grind would be the saving grace of this knife. Aragorn, thank you. What did I say? Well, don't even remind me what I said. I feel like a hollow grind is the only savior for this blade because it looks so damn big and chunky, and it is a saber grind. Otherwise, that grind is only going halfway up that it looks like a thick blade. So I'm wondering, like, all of these big here, case in point, where is it? How can I miss it? It's so big. Okay, I had the XL Espada here. Anyway, the XL Espada, the one that I have anyway, has a big hollow ground blade. It's because it's hollow ground. It's light up front. Where the fuck is that thing? I cannot believe I lost that knife. It is so huge. I just had it out. Anyway, the big giant hollow blade is what keeps it from getting too heavy. It looks like this Mayhem. It looks a little cumbersome. It looks a little ham-fisted. Is anyone picking up what I'm putting down? This does not look like a refined Demko design. We know it's not a Demko design, but Andrew Demko designed so many of these large folders, like almost all of them, at least the modern ones. The first Vaqueros and the El Hombre and the Vaquero Grande and the old version of the Voyagers, that was all Lynn Thompson. But then Demko joined the crew, invented the triad lock, and then joined the crew. And he designed most of those large folders, and they are beautiful and they are refined, and they are, this one, I don't know. The jury's out. I got to check it out. So far, I have not liked, and we're going strictly on looks. I know these have been good knives and they have been well received, but their recent releases, see, I'm not even remembering what they're called. Their Atlas lock releases have not in any way been tempting. This is the first thing that's approached it, but I'm worried. I'm worried. Is this one going to be good? I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know, because this means a lot to me. I like feel kind of morally obligated to get it. It is a large cold steel, and that is a huge sub collection of mine. The large folding cold steels. I have almost all of them. Should I get this one? I don't know. Anyway, they're going to come out in an AUS 10A and an AUS 35, an AUS 35 VN, S35 VN version. I'll probably just get the AUS 10, and if I love it, I'll trade up. Okay, that's first. Losing an XL Espada. I know. I am shocked, man. I'm shocked. It is very weird because I had it at the beginning of the show. You saw it. And yeah, I'm gonna wonder for now. I'm gonna wonder. That's really weird. Brandon Sutton, I kind of prefer a dip, ramp, or slight harpoon swedge in the spine instead of jimping like that. That's the other thing. The jimping, I do like big divot jimping. I'm not sure what we're gonna call that. I do like it, but in this case, it's like too. It's so spread out. It's not useful. It seems to me like it's there for looks. Now, if you had a jimp on either end and then a jimp between, so that you had 7 jimps, I guess, it would be very useful on the thumb. They'd still be those big scoops, useful on the thumb. And then this is obviously a tactical knife. And the overall S-shaped curve of that and that big deep swale with jimping would be great in reverse grip for trapping. If that's your thing and you could actually pull that off in a fight, that would make for a great design option, a trapping option with real useful jimping, not just looks. Oh, look, it's the Mayhem. It's big. We're going to put 3 big scoops. It's like, make them useful. K. Mason says, has there been much talk about the Demko Fixie? Not that I have seen thus far, but I know it's out and it looks really cool. Or the AD22. I'm betting that Blade Show 2023 is probably where that picks up. Cold Steel Collector 808. Hey, junkies. Aloha. Sorry I'm late, Bob. No problem, Cold Steel Collector. We were just talking Cold Steel. We were actually marveling at the fact that I had a big, shiny XL Espada on my desk when this whole thing started, this whole live show, and I cannot find it. And that's a big knife to lose. The new Cold Steel models haven't connected with me either. Yeah, they're the designs are ham-fisted. They're like in the neighborhood. They approximate Cold Steel designs, and I like that they're strong. The Atlas lock, at first I was kind of like, oh, it's like a shark lock. I don't know. I was a little, I don't know. I was a naysayer, but hey, now I have to admit, innovation is something hopefully Cold Steel continues to do. And hopefully their designs are refined a little bit. They just seem a little bit like sophomoric. Blade Ogre says, I want the Demko free reign, but I think it's only at Knife Center. Is that an issue? Are you not a Knife Center fan? Never heard of the Demco 22. Yeah, the 8022 looks really cool. It would be cool if they made it larger. It's got a really cool blade. The Mayhem is, yeah. Oh, and Cold Steel Collector, think so. So the Swift 2. I don't know. I liked the Swift 1, though I never had one. I like the looks of the Swift 1, I gotta say. But that was kind of a dog, wasn't it? It's kind of a died on the vine kind of knife, right? Oh, you Cold Steel Collector 808. Do you have a Desperado? And if so, what can I pay you for it? Yeah, Ogre, there's a Tonto version of the Demco Fixie. Oh, cool. Yeah, he does Tontos beautifully. Razorback, I want to see more AEBL production knives. I have made some ABL knives. That's the only stainless steel I've ever done. I've never owned one aside from those, and I can't judge. I had them heat treated very well. Actually, Alex Steingraber heat treated my AEBL knives. I tried to get him to do it again. He's kind of like, I'm kind of busy now. Like, okay, I get it. But AEBL, it seems like a cool steel, but if I could grind a knife, I'd be able to tell. Chris says, I use Sezzle whenever I can, and Knife Center doesn't have it. Oh, Sezzle. That's a payment option, I'm assuming. One last thing before we wrap here. I want to talk about 2 new exciting things from CRKT. I feel like it's only fair because I do a fair bit of dishing on them when they come up, and they don't come up often. But CRKT, I like them for the fact that they very inexpensively bring designs from many, many different great designers to the market. So that's a great thing that they do. Their insistence on 8CR13 MOV is a little annoying, and that whole thing. But recently, or they just announced SHOT Show that they will be coming out with 2 knives made in America, which is exciting to me, and designed by husband and wife, which is really cool. And one is designed by husband and one is designed by wife. These are the Lurches. You know Matthew Lurch, and you know Matthew Lurch from the Ruger LCK made by CRKT, which is an awesome knife. That's one of my upstairs kitchen knives, junk drawer knives, gets used for everything. And his wife MJ Lurch designed one too. This is the one that she designed, and they're using their crossbar lock. That's an Axis lock by another name. And this is a cool, imaginative, and somewhat large. That's a nearly 4-inch bladed knife. That nice harpoon. Harpoons are starting to grow on me in some cases. I do like it on this one. And that vented back. And it looks like, if you look through that vented back, it looks like it's got some sort of a wire clip maybe. But an innovative design from a woman designer, MJ Lurch, wife of Matthew Lurch. Now, the knife he's coming out with looks somewhat Matthew Lurch. It reminds me a bit of the LCK. And what's he calling this? He's got a name for it. This one right here, man, that's a beautiful knife. Look at that blade, the LCBK, which stands for lightweight crossbar knife. I love the look of that knife. I like the angular handle. Those angular facets, you know, they're going to be comfortable, even though they're angular. And that blade shape is gorgeous. I love it. I love the sort of upward slanted Warncliffs. Now, the contact recently by Asymmetrical Beyond EDC and Dirk Pinkerton has that same sort of upwardly canted Warncliffe blade with the tip presenting high up. But this one has a little belly there, and I don't know. It's very pleasing. The plunge grind is annoying, though. I do not like the way that looks, and I have a feeling it doesn't that mean it's going to be wide and give you a little bit of that smile thing towards the end. As a matter of fact, looking at this picture, it kind of looks like it's one there already. Hero Stick says it's weird, and is it weird that I want the new CRKT Razzle fixed blade? No, it is a weird looking thing though. That fixed blade is interesting looking, but no, it's a nice tip of the hat to John Graham, who passed away last year. You should get it. The Cold Steel Collector 808 says the lurches. I couldn't agree more, sir. Looks lightweight, says Nomadic Adventure. Yeah, it does. It does, with the venting, I'm assuming, is what you're getting at. Yeah. So I don't know. Kind of excited. I like the idea of an American-made knife. As we wrap up, let me know what you think of these things. I love 14C. 420HC, funnily enough, is very similar. You know, this has been a desk knife for a long time. This is 420HC. It is so sharp, man. This is a great knife, and for my purposes and for what I use it for, and it's not like I'm outdoors all the time using this. This just gets used on occasion, but the 420HC on this knife has been awesome. I love this little knife. The Buck 112 Ranger. Sorry, it's weird. I talk for 2 hours straight and my nose gets stuffy. I don't understand what that's about. But anywho, Blade Ogre says, "Yep, Atlantic Knife does have the DeMarco fixie. Hopefully, more places will get it eventually. We'll buy it one day for sure. It looks awesome. I know it's a super performer, and it's got a nice look. It sort of incorporates that vibe of a Mora in that it's got a plastic handle, but it's got such a luxe looking blade. I really, he's one of the few guys whose drop points to me just look, they look awesome. Hey, yeah, this is great. You missed a past Thursday Night Knives. Watch the replays at theknifejunkie.com/Thursdays. Pretty much everything we do here, you go to theknifejunkie.com/ and then you got it. For instance, any episode of the podcast, you just go to knifejunkie.com/ and then the episode number. 390, 420, bro. But we haven't done that one yet. You get the idea. So it's all right there on the beautifully done website. You know, I don't talk about that website enough, but Jim pours a lot of energy into that too, and that's the locus of this. That's where it all funnels, and that's where all Knife Junkie content can be found. So definitely do go check that out. Also, make sure you check out this weekend's interview on Sunday. It will be awesome. I talked to Tom Nugent of Knives by Nuge, and his stuff is really cool. I was hip to him just looking up EDC fixed blades, and his stuff came up, and it's kept coming up, and I was like, I had to start following him. I love his knives. So I talked to him. Very cool guy. Former police officer up in New Jersey, had a lot of interesting things, stories and interesting things to talk about. Check that out. And of course, the Wednesday midweek supplemental. I love doing that show too. I love doing all this. Thank you one and all for watching and commenting on the shows and listening to the shows. Download it to the podcast apps if you want to listen to these dulcet tones as you drive or mow the lawn. K Mason says, "Thanks, Bob, Jim, and everyone. Take care and much love." K Mason, right back to you, man. Right back at you. Thanks for coming and talking at me. I appreciate it. It's like I said before, man. You all spare my family from having to hear this, because this would be coming out somehow. Anyway, also, if you want to get involved in the giveaways like we did tonight, please check us out on Patreon, knifejunkie.com/Patreon. You can also scan the QR code. But also, if you can't do that, I totally get it. Keep tuning in. We do lots of random giveaways anyway of other knives. So it's appreciated one way or the other. All right. I think that does it for moi on this evening. So I want to thank Jim for all the work he does behind the scenes. Thank you, Jim. And for you for showing up. I'm Bob DeMarco saying until next time, please don't take dull for an answer.